for years, we have focused on what are the things that contribute to aging? Pollution, the environment, sun exposure, stress, eating habits, all of these other things. But what artistry scientists did is they took all of these external factors and said, ultimately, when we have all of these outside factors, what's really happening? What's happening in the skin that results in the fine lines and wrinkles and the aging? Here's what's happening. We're losing skin synchronization and we're losing skin energy. So these two functions are working at a cellular level and having an impact on the visible signs of aging. Now you've got to be able to back up your story. Let's talk about what skin resynchronization means, because it sounds like a term that means synchronize. That's okay, we can get that. And again, with energy, explain it. So when we talk about synchronization, we're talking about biorhythms. Every cell in our body works around biorhythms. Clocks, internal clocks that work with what? The 24 hours in a day. How simple is that? The 24 hours in a day directly linked to every cell within our body. So what our scientists did is said, if we know that, and we've known this for years, this is nothing new at all. If we know this, then how does it precisely link to the skin? And how does it precisely link to skin cells? What does that mean that our skin cells are out of sync? Their biorhythms are off. And what do we see because of that? Well, after researching it, what they found was that these biorhythms in our skin cells, in a skin cell cycle, is 24 hours. Literally, the cycle that a cell goes through in cell turnover takes 24 hours. It takes 24 hours. So our internal structure is linked to the 24 hours. And this relates directly to our cells. And our R&D scientists did a look at this and they said, well, let's look at this and what happens in the skin. Well, during the daytime, oil levels peak, water loss is minimal, we have minimal recovery time, and wrinkles are more apparent. We have the direct opposite at night. At nighttime, oil levels are reduced, water loss is its greatest, repair and recovery is its fastest, and wrinkles are less apparent. Let's put this real simple. What happens during the daytime? We're trying to protect our skin cells. What happens during the nighttime? Recovery and repair. So we watch this in this 24-hour cycle. But what we found is that as we age, our skin cells get out of sync with what's supposed to be happening in the 24 hours. And here's the easiest way to describe this. When we're out of sync, things just don't jive, do they? The easiest way to describe skin cells being out of sync, it's very similar to jet lag. What happens when you get on a plane for 14 hours? You stand here on a stage and pretend you're perfectly fine. No, I'm just kidding. When you're out of sync with jet lag, what does your body feel like? You can't get back in the time frame, you just don't think right, you don't sleep right, you're completely off. Your skin cells are doing the exact same thing. So as we age, what happens is we lose that synchronization of biorhythms with the 24-hour cycle in a day. So R&D scientists said, well, wait a minute, how do we resynchronize? Because synchronization of the skin cells basically means getting them in sync with how they renew and turn over. That's the starting point of our skin cell maturation. We've got to fix that. So how do we do that? Well, they searched the globe and connected with a state-of-the-art research facility on botanical ingredients. Now, this is really unbelievable because when we look at cells and cell behavior, and when we look at synchronization, we look at plants, animals, and humans. Well, clearly, when we're doing skin research and we're looking at ingredients, the animals and the humans aren't really an option. So we look at plants, and we look at plants for ingredients because The process of photosynthesis in the plants is very similar to the process that we go through in cellular respiration, as well as cell renewal. So our ARTISTRY scientists searched the globe, hooked up with a state-of-the-art botanical research facility, and looked at over 300 different plants to identify a plant that had some sort of connection with synchronizing the skin cells. And what they found was a unique plant called the Gardenia grandiflora. Now, this is actually a very specialized plant that lives in very harsh environments, but has a very unique capability to specifically focus on resynchronization of the cellular metabolism. Now, what's unique about it is that they went a little bit further. It's not just the plant. It's the plant stem cell. How many of you have heard of stem cell research? We've been talking about stem cell research for years. We've been talking about it. Now we've been talking about stem cell research in human beings, in animals. I think they've reproduced dogs, if I'm not mistaken. We all have stem cells. And here's what's very special about a stem cell. A stem cell is sort of like your precursor cell. It's your cell that is responsible for the formation of every other cell. It repairs, it fixes, it renews, it regenerates, it does everything. So these stem cells are immortal. They're never affected by the environment. They don't die, they don't become damaged. What does become damaged and what does die are the cells that they produce. So our scientists identified the Gardenia grandiflora stem cells. Then what they did is worked with this laboratory and created an exclusive biotech process that distilled the stem cells and created a powerful concentrate elixir. So it's a high concentration of these stem cells that are preserved to focus on synthesizing skin cells that regulate with the biorhythms. Does that make sense? It's easy. Think of this. Resynchronization, Gardenia grandiflora focuses on resynchronizing those skin cells. They get out of whack, it puts them back in whack. It's like a good night's sleep after a very long flight. Resynchronization, because resynchronization is the beginning of the process of focusing on our skin cells. So our resynchronized skin cells that work within a 24-hour cycle then have to produce energy. They've got to create energy, which is our second focus of what happens when we age. We fall out of synchronization and then we lose cellular energy. The powerhouse of the cell is the mitochondria. It's the power source. It energizes. So when we launched Cream LX years ago, we focused on cardiolipin because cardiolipin strengthened the wall, strengthened the membrane of the mitochondria, and re-energized the mitochondria. It re-energized the mitochondria. So what we focus on doing is recreating that energy. Just like a battery, the longer you use that battery and over a lifetime, it loses its energy. Our mitochondria do the exact same thing. So scientists looked at this and said, well, what can we do to focus on energy? Well, we focused on energy with Cream LX. We focused on energy with cell effect, cardiolipin, L-carnosine, spinach leaf extract. But now we have cell effect 24. We've added a few new ingredients. We've added a rhodiola extract to increase, yeah, isn't that cool? To increase cellular energy. But we've also added 24 karat gold. Yeah, 24 karat gold. Now, gold has been used in skincare products for many years because gold has also been proven to increase cellular energy. It triggers the mitochondria, increases cellular energy. Another side effect of that gold is that it acts as a natural translucent in the skin. Nobody wants a gold face. We don't want gold sparkles on our face. but in the product, it offers a slight bit of reflectiveness to give an instant appearance. So we've resynchronized the skin with our Gardenia grandiflora, and now what we've done with our Cell Effect 24 is re-energized that resynchronized skin.